This is my S&T PPSH. Had a slight problem with the trigger. I've just opened it. I've opened it up. I've sorted it out. It turned out to be the trigger contacts. This thing has done well over 20,000 rounds in the 2.5 years I've had it. I do minimal service on it. I'll open it up. I'll re-grease everything. I'll put it back together. But the other day I got it out. I'm doing a video comparing the S&T with the Snow Wolf, because some people on the internet said that they were the same, just rebranded for continent, for licensing and bits and bobs like that. They are different. That's another video that I'm hopefully going to knock out, but they are different. And just by looking at, I've only had this for about 6 hours, and I already can see the screws are different, the hop up is different, the metal work is different. You know, you've got a duller finish on the, more of a glossy finish on the S&T, and you've got a dull finish on the Snow Wolf. Yeah, the S&T feed tube is in the receiver, whereas on the Snow Wolf it's actually on the end of the gearbox. SW, Snow Wolf. The trigger guard of the S&T, it's got ST. So anyway, yeah, they are not the same. Gearbox might be, but they are not identical. So anybody that says they are the same thing, just rebranded, mine says, my two that I have here say otherwise. So might just be me. I really doubt I've got a odd S&T or an odd Snow Wolf that happens to be a mixture of whatever, but I'll do a little video on that in a minute. But so yeah, so this had trigger contacts. So when I first got this 2.5 years ago, I put 100 rounds through it with an 8.4 nim, stripped the piston straight off, stripped piston, gone, done, finished. Drove all the way to the range, set up, got the drum mag all set up, got my batteries charged the night before, pulled trigger. Oh wow, this is great, this is great, this is great. Oh no, it's not firing, it's just whirring around. Yep, stripped about 6 teeth off the piston. So took it home. Could have taken it back to the shop and gone, but I didn't trust that they would just bang in a crappy cylinder, just to get it working again. I've heard horror stories. So as much as I love the shop, I understand they need to make money, not lose money, and throwing in a decent piston on a gun that they've just sold, yeah, I understand. So I'm quite capable myself, so I thought, you know what, fuck it, I'll take it apart. And because I'd lost a lot of confidence in the gun already, I just ordered steel teeth piston. I ordered a new cylinder. I needed a cylinder head. I did stuff like that. So I've already opened this up. I've already fixed the problem, but I'm just going to run through what I did. So there's a couple of videos stripping this. He does a very good job of explaining everything and the tools you need. He does strip this a lot more than I ever do. I literally take off the decocking lever to get to this screw here. I take off the trigger spring, and then I undo all the screws to be able to get in there. So yeah, make sure you take out the spring. Makes life a hell of a lot easier. I'll get onto that in a minute, because that was quite a good find, because everyone said, oh, this is a proprietary spring guide, but it turns out I bought this from AK to M4, or is it M4? Yeah, AK to M4. I think he's a British guy. I'm sure he's British. But this is a stainless steel spring guide with a bearing for quick change gearboxes, and it fitted in this. So it is a bigger hole. It's an M5, not an M4. So the original cap that I'm really badly filming there doesn't fit. So as a really quick temporary measure, I've got an M5 cap head, Allen head, depending on where you're from. Now the reason there's a stack of O-rings, bullshit, washers, is because the M5 penny washer I got didn't fit. So it's basically an M5 washer, an M6 washer, an M8 washer, and an M10 washer. Now, I was going to get a custom-made one because I could do it at work, but it doesn't interfere with anything. It doesn't, you know, they're stainless steel, so it's not magnetic. It just looks funny, but only when you open up the cover. So aesthetically, it's hidden until you open up the cover to see all of this, or to get into the receiver and stuff like that. So I'm not really fussed. I mean, it looks terrible and it looks like a bodge. It was a bodge, but yeah, it's just an M5, probably an M5 by 20, and then a selection of O-rings, fucking bullshit, washers. So yeah, so don't be put off. I mean, you can get decent stuff to fit in this. So as I said, I've already opened this up. So after you've undone all the screws and you got rid of the spring, you got rid of the decocking lever, I just do that. Yeah, you just arch it over. That's it. Yeah, and there's gearbox. Yeah, there's your silly little trigger bar. There's your micro switch. Yeah, it looks quite gummy. I use my own lube, which is a secret concoction of stuff I find. It's done 20,000 rounds and there is very little wear anywhere. So and it cycles perfectly fine. So you use what you want to use. I'm using my own little concoction of bearing grease with a little bit of silicone in there, stuff like that. It works for me. So yeah, and as I said, 2 years and it's still running perfect. It's just the trigger contacts that got a bit corroded. So there's your trigger box. Trying to get it where there's no shadow. So all this is held in by is friction on these two holes. So I've got a small flat blade. You just want to get it in there, wiggle it about a little bit, get it underneath it, give it a bit of prying, and then boom. Yeah, there it is. You can undo the wires on the other side, give you a bit more room. I'm not going to tip it upside down because everything's going to fall out and that'll just be embarrassing. So I'll get into that in a second. That's fairly straightforward. I mean, just find that crease around the top there and you just separate the top from the bottom. I mean, it's quite straightforward. And then I'll show you the gubbins in the middle. So I've got SHS double O-ringed cylinder head, SHS piston, cylinder, SHS piston with double O-ring, alley vented head, really good air seal. What's not a good air seal is the nozzle, and the nozzle at the moment is proprietary. It is a weird size, and yeah, I'm in the process of maybe getting one that's close and filing it down and getting it to fit. But for this shoots 1.14 joules bang on, and which is about 300, well, on a 0.25 at about 335 feet per second. Now in England, 350 is your maximum FPS for an AEG, but the power limit is also 1.14 joules as a maximum. So this on a 0.25 is doing 1.14 joules, despite it only shooting 335 feet per second. So because my site I go to uses joules to stop people getting 350 feet per second and then wanging in a 0.3 and shooting 2 joule BBs at people at 350 feet a second and things like that. Yeah, so it's to get around joule creep and stuff like that. So I have to set my guns up for joules, not feet per second. Luckily I've got chrono and stuff like that, so I do it. Any work I do, I can check it. So yeah, so that's all of that. 12-to-1 gears. I believe these are SHS 12-to-1 gears. And as you can see, I've got a ASG Infinity 2200 motor. On a 7.4, I only use 7.4. I had bad experiences with 11.1s, so I only use 7.4. That's pretty much the one I use in this, because with a 2,000 round drum magazine, you need a lot of power. I mean, that will probably last one magazine. I mean, what is that, 1300? Yeah, that might last a magazine. This one does about two drum mags, if I really wanted to. I don't tend to shoot that much, but you'll see. Oh yeah, and the safety lever broke off of this. I'm assuming because of the uprated fire and all that, it's just broken shoe. I'm hopefully going to swap it for that one, but we'll see. We'll see. As I said before, it might not fit because there are bits that are different. So yeah, so that's basically everything in there. I'll quickly open this up. As I said, it's just a case of prying the top from the bottom. It's not difficult, and we'll get back to it. Right, so welcome to the inside of the trigger box. So we got here, that's the little micro switch trigger. I'm using the pliers to hold it down because it wants to ping that way. There's your trigger contacts right in there. You've got some nice bits of brass here. A little bit of a leaf spring there for you. See if I can do this without it falling apart. Yeah. So when you pull the trigger, pulls that up, makes that joint. So in there, it's not going to focus, is it? In there, all of that in there, basically those two faces were black. In fact, I'll get one of them out. It's quite simple. This is all loose, by the way. This will just all sort of fall out. It's pretty much just placed in there. So see if we can do this one-handed. Sort of. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing this. Yeah, so it does just fall out. I'd say fall's a bad word. A little bit of a tug. Anyway, I'll see if I can I'll get this one out. Can I get that one out? I'll get one of them out, and yeah, I'll get one of them out, and I'll show you basically what I did. And with the miracle of time, here it is. So all I did, so I scratched off all the carbon that was on there. This doesn't look great. I mean, it is working right now, but it's definitely lost the dome that it used to have. I mean, I used a scalpel just to get some stuff, just to get the stuff off. So there has been some wear there, where it obviously, 20,000 rounds. Yeah, so, but yeah, that's it. And then if you wanted to, you can take the rest of this out to clean that one. I've done both of them. I'm just showing you this one, but that is as easy as it is. You don't have to strip anything else out. Look, all this is still together. It's not a difficult job. This can be a dick when you're putting it back together, and sometimes this pings out, but once you get it back in there and sort of settled, it's relatively easy to put back together. So I'm going to, and then just the reverse, just put that back in, clip that back on, push that back in there, done. And that's your contacts cleaned. I haven't noticed any wear around here. I'm worried that this only just reaches the trigger from factory. I mean, I am tempted to put something else on there because it's just so close. I don't want to touch the trigger because it's going to hit me in the face. But yeah, so yeah, this shoots 17 rounds a second on a 7.4. I don't want 20, 25, 30 rounds a second. I don't need it. I don't want it. it's just a massive waste of BBs going down range. I got a 6.01 275mm barrel in the upper anyway. I've got a Mad Ball Shark Accelerator hop-up rubber. I can hit 65 to 70 meters with this with a .25, and not only that, but I can hit a man-sized target with every single BB. Yeah, I'm not talking like a good spread, you know, I'm talking like every BB in the chest at 65, 70 meters. I do have a video of it. I just don't know what computer it's on. I have a feeling it's on my laptop that's dead. But I'll see what I can find. I might be able to find it. But yeah, so I'm going to quickly put this back together. I'm going to give you a quick couple of test fires, and yeah, we'll hopefully save somebody some money. Hopefully. Right, that was awfully gay. Anyway, so as you can see, it doesn't too out of place. I mean, you could paint them black, but you know, I'll get one made up. I will talk about the recoil, because that, when I learnt that, when I figured out that was all it was, and how you can disable that, and people were charging, back in the day, people were charging people to, you know, not make it blowback, you know, that kind of thing. And when I figured out how easy it was, not only, well, I mean, yes, you could strip the gearbox and take this out, but you know what else you could do? You just pull this up a little bit, over and back, and then that stays at the back there, and this doesn't move, and there's your blowback disabled. You've just got to remember that you need to pull back when you lever the front, otherwise you'll bend this. Yeah, which I've done a couple of times. Nobody's perfect, but yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it's just fractured there. Anyway, so 7.4, just a little one. I can't remember if that's charged up. This is definitely charged up because I just, well, did it. Yeah, so this is single shot. And then full auto, if it will stay in the picture. Alright, I was mistaken. It's not the decocking lever. That's got to be the safety then, isn't it? Yeah. Alright, my mistake. I got confused. Hey, nobody's perfect. I don't do this for a living. So yeah, so that's it. That is that fixed for. That's probably on its way out. I believe an Aries do a replacement one. I think Fire Support have got them. It's basically you just got to unsolder these wires and solder new wires on. I mean, that's not a problem. I've got a soldering iron, so I do a lot of soldering at work anyway. So yeah, so that is that fix. Just take that off. Yeah, and I'm going to do a video of these two side by side and show you some differences, in the hope that I save somebody else the hassle of. Luckily, I got this so cheap, working, and so cheap that I'm not actually that bothered about it. I'll be able to use something if this one ever goes down. But yeah, so keep an eye out for that one if you're interested. If not, See you later.